Hello, everyone. My name is Pedro Campos. I'm president of ITPI. We are the map systems architects, and we're going to start this session that we're going to host with Janelle Brekke from Norco College and Arlene Serrato from Moreno College. Let me turn over to you, Janelle, or Arlene. Do you have the slides ready?
I think we were just going to have a discussion, Pedro, if you wanted to pull up MAP in terms of, if there was any questions about the functionality of MAP, or if anyone had any questions or wanted to see anything live.
Okay, you're right. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm pulling the MAP homepage here, the dashboard page. Briefly go over and see if there are any questions in terms of the homepage of MAP. And then from there, we can jump into the different approaches on how to create an articulation. And maybe we can run some tests based on your specific courses or articulations. Let's see.
So on this view that Pedro is showing, he is just showing on the main screen where we do have a section for articulations, outreach, also our programs of study for Norco College, and as well as the settings feature. There is also a live chat person to be able to help us whenever we have questions or whenever the system is doing something funky. We have that support by ITPI to assist us through any issues we run into.
Okay, let's see that on the screen. Finish loading.
Joe, can you drop down one of the accounting or one of the courses really quick so that they can see our process of approving through evaluations through all three colleges?
Sure, let me, I'm logged on here as Patty Washam, but let me go back and log on as, Moreno, you want Moreno Valley or Norco?
You can do Moreno Valley, you can do Serrato.
Okay. All right, there you go.
Can you go ahead and drop down for, let's do ADJ19.
Okay, let me collapse the top portions here to make sure that we have visibility. 19, there we go.
So one of the great things about MAP is that we're able to see where the process is at in each of our colleges. You're able to, this is ADJ19, this is our introduction to policing. One of the things that we're able, if you can see NRM, so it's Norco, Riverside, and Moreno Valley, and it shows each step that has been completed. So for the first one, this course, I believe, is not taught. It is not in the curriculum for Norco College, and that's the reason why Norco hasn't initiated any of them. But Riverside does have it. And the evaluator part of it has been completed for that first one. So that class, and then the faculty have been able to go in there and say, yes, this course does equate to, yes, this military experience does equate to our ADJ19. And then articulation went in there, and then we were able to implement it. And now all of us have it housed in our tests. And you can also see where the very bottom where it stopped at. You can see the little part right there where it says Moreno Valley is still waiting on faculty to approve that one. And I believe you're able to also see when something is denied. This one doesn't have an example of that. Pedro, can you please show ADJ 13? I believe there's one in that one.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah, so that one, so you can see in that second entry that Riverside denied it, so it hasn't moved any forward from there.
So this detailed information about the articulation gives you as much information, including some of the notes that the evaluators can be made in this process. So it's giving you a quick glance of what this articulation is about. If you want to further review that articulation, you can do so by clicking on this icon over here that will edit that articulation. You can do so, but since this articulation is already in the faculty stage and we have just logged on as in the evaluator stage, you will only have the ability to add notes, but it's in the faculty queue. But if I open this other one over here, which is an evaluator stage, or this one over here. I should be able to open that up.
And I think I saw Tina ask the question of what does the type mean? And if you're referring to the column type, it's on the JST, there is a difference between a veteran's courses that they've taken. So a lot of the times their boot camp is under that one. It's a course that they've taken. And then after that, there's experience, military experience, and that's more of their occupation. So that in MAP, it's identified as either a course or an occupation.
Exactly. And as you saw in the create articulation screen, you have the ability to create the articulation for either an ACE course or an ACE occupation. And in this particular case, is an MOS. So going back to editing that articulation, it shows you side by side the content of the college course title, number of units, schedule description, student learning outcomes. And in the middle section, it shows you everything related to that particular occupation, that MOS 1990. And it's giving you different skill levels. And this allows the evaluators to, do a deep analysis and comparisons between these skill levels and the content of the course. And if it's decided that one of these recommendation skill level 40 is the one that you would like to use to justify this articulation, MAP has stabilized those recommendations criteria. So from here, once you select this and click on that, this is just test data. So when I go ahead and add that recommendation, then that recommendation criteria gets highlighted in yellow and will be the one that justifies this articulation. Additional notes can be added by the evaluators, as well as faculty and articulation officers. And if they have any documentation that would like to upload an electronic version of that document and attach to these particular articulations, they can do so. And all the audit trail information also is kept here. So once faculty reviews these articulations, and Janelle and Arlene as the one that have been working on this, these articulations is ready to move forward to the next stage by clicking on the move forward. It's the confirmation, and then it's going to come out with a page that is, since this is a shared curriculum course, obviously it's going to the next stage, which is the faculty stage, but it gives the ability to notify every member of the district for that. So I'm going to go ahead and select test, click submit. And off we go. This articulation now is gone. I no longer have the ability to move this forward. It's telling me that now it's in the queue for the faculty. And I can still add some additional notations, but now I cannot perform any more than that.
So I see Scarlett's question. Could you please clarify the roles of evaluator and faculty in reviewing the courses for credit and articulation? And this might be a little bit different at different colleges, but at RCCD, the evaluator is the one that puts together the documentation to create an equate. So on our end, like for Moreno Valley College, I went in and I started looking for possible equates at our current, with our current population when it came to their JSTs. And I had to push it forward to the faculty to be able to say, yes, this is an equate, or no, this is not an equate.
All the community colleges in California and also nationwide, but as well as the UCs and CSUs. Furthermore, I'm sorry, go ahead.
There's another one asked, did our college build this? Pedro is our database builder. He is now, I believe you are, what's consultant?
Yeah, they're asking about admissions.
No, just asking how the college built this website.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this was a contract that started on this initiative from the state back in 2018, and we were contracting with the district to develop this application for them. It's been funded by the state, and so all the community colleges in California can adopt, become MAP-enabled institutions at no cost. Going back to the question about the different stages in the process, this is configurable. So each institution They can adopt this workflow process, having 4 different stages, or this can be customized if this is a small institution that they only have the evaluators, and then after they do that, maybe only the articulation officer, or they want to send straight those articulations for implementation. MAP can be configured to bypass these other stages. So when you create an articulation here, it can go directly to the implementation. Furthermore, if this is an elective articulation with an elective course, those by default do not require the approval of faculty articulation officers. They can go straight to the implementation. And I believe that's the way it's being configured for Norco College, right, Janelle?
Yes, so things that are part of our normal administrative policy, like health science and self-development, that do not need a faculty approval, we automatically are able to move those from the evaluator stage all the way to implementation without having to have a faculty or articulation officer approval, because it is already our district policy.
And Dustin, I saw your hand raised and I see a question in the chat. How does MAP delineate between the different MOSs amongst each branch of the service? So it's probably with the naming of each one. There are codes in the ACE and you'll see them on there. Can you go back to that one really quick, Pedro?
I just want to illustrate that if they want to filter that.
Okay. You can filter it that way too.
Yeah. So if you want to work with specific military branch, you can filter this list when you create articulations from here.
And there is a comment about preloading. So Pedro, correct me if I'm wrong, but MAP does have all of the curriculum for all of the California community colleges. Is that correct?
That is correct. So what MAP has in the back end, it has an API that is constantly communicating with the Calki state system. So any changes in the curriculum, whether it's a course that become obsolete or changes in the course outline of record to append student learning outcomes or change the number of units, all that information will be captured in MAP to keep your course catalog, college course catalog updated. It does the same with ACE. So in the ACE website, if there are any changes in regards to adding skill levels, team review dates for whether they are ACE courses or occupations, MAP will keep this information updated as well. It's a process that colleges don't have to worry about that, and MAP does all that automatically behind the scenes.
And then I do see Terrence ask, what role does admissions and records play in this process? Both me and Janelle are under admissions and records. Our department lands under there, and that's where also we get our JSTs and the veterans. We work really closely with the veteran services centers.
So
And
we
then-
are doing the research on that, and then Arlene and I are posting to the transcript also.
Right.
And then there was a question. Sorry, there's one more, Pedro.
Sure.
I just missed it. Okay, I think we got them all.
Okay, great. Thank you. Moving on, the next item in our agenda is to practice how to adopt articulations from other institutions. And I just scrolled down and realized that this Amy 10, which is Survey for Human Anatomy and Physiology, I believe, has articulations created in another college, but they have no articulations at Moreno Valley. So it's very easy to adopt articulations from other institutions. You just click on that green icon on the left-hand side. And what MAP is going to do is going to show up the list of all the articulations that have been created in another colleges in the district, giving you the opportunity to, from that list, adopt those articulations. Okay, so this was probably not a good example. It seems like all those articulations that have been created for that have probably been reviewed already by Moreno Valley, and they have been denied. So if I unclick this button, unclick this. Yeah, those articulations that already exist in other colleges in the district that were created on another college in the district already exist for Moreno Valley. So there is no need for them to adopt because they already exist. But the icon is just giving you that visibility. But the main purpose of this screen is if you want to adopt those articulations that do not exist in your institutions, from here you can select them all, or you can just adopt one by one. So let's see if we can find another example. Maybe I have that already on another screen here. Let me look. I'm going back here to Norco College. And let me see. Sorry, yes, I'll save the time of searching for it. But let's work with this list. And here's
Pedro, there's a question in the chat that says, are the colleges in MAP organized by the district, or do we have to develop the for approval purposes? I can speak for our district. Ours is set up for because of the 3 colleges. And we also have the 4 different roles from the articulation officer, the faculty, and the evaluator. Pedro, can you answer if it's like that for the rest of them?
Sure, absolutely. In the last session, we're gonna share a link with all of you in which you can then register to become a MAP-enabled institution, in which MAP is going to ask if you have a curriculum that is shared by the district, and it's gonna require you to enter what's the name of the district. And if you are part of the district, but you have different independent curriculums, no problem, that can be configured as well. So based on the settings, on the information that we get for your institutions, then MAP will be configured whether it's with the shared curriculum or not. The other question that is regarding the CID, that's a very good question. And really what we have is in the back end, we're in the process of creating those links between the CIDs, and that's the only way that we can allow all the colleges to collaborate and adopt articulations that share the same CID that was created statewide. If, as you all know, not every course has a CID in the CID website. So for those that don't have a CID, MAP is going to create a master CID that can later on be synchronized with the CID once that gets assigned at the state level. But that, again, that's the way that will enable MAP to link those courses between the district, between colleges, no matter how they call it at their institutions. Let's see other question.
And Bobby has a question about an approved articulation and how you get that information into MAP. So there are articulations that are approved in the system or by our faculty by a paper format that we upload into MAP. So MAP has the ability to for us to include an attachment. So let's say there is an approved course or approved occupation outside of MAP. We also have the ability to upload that and move it through the process as we would, so that we have that information stored for future use.
Okay. Thank you, Janelle. I think our time is up. Thank you all for joining this session. I think we need to get back to the main room now. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any further questions, and we'll be happy to answer those anytime. Thank you all.